today we're going to be creating one of my favorite things that comes out every autumn, and that is flint corn. Now, flint corn is a special type of corn that is literally rainbow. That's right, the kernels are all different colors, not the typical yellow that you would expect to see. Now today, we're going to be using a continuous line. That's right, we're going to be using line, which is one of the elements of art, to create this corn. We're going to be creating our line, then drawing our kernels using shape, and then we're going to add that husk after we cut it out. Now you're going to need one piece of white paper and then either another piece of white paper or a piece of green paper, your choice. You're going to need scissors, you're going to need a glue stick, and you're going to need these. These are Tempera paint sticks. Now, if you don't have these, grab a really thick marker. You can use gel crayons. You can even use crayons. You're just going to need to add a lot more lines. But you can use literally anything to create this special corn. Now, I created mine and put it in a husk, but I wanted to show you another student had an idea and she decided to create it and then put it in an ice block and tell a whole story. So just know that when you're creating, create your way. You ready? Let's go. First, we're going to take any color, and all we're doing is just making lots of loops, and you can choose whatever color you want. You're doing loops and just doing a continuous line. So I'm not picking up my Tempera paint stick until I am done with this color, and then I'm choosing another color, and I can choose whatever I want here. There's no rules. You can do just warm colors, just cool colors. If you want to do, looks like a big pile of spaghetti here. I like to do the rainbow. And you notice how the space is getting filled in? So there's fewer white spaces here. And we're going to be drawing our corn right in the middle of this. So you don't have to use the edges here at all. You don't have to worry if there's white showing. If there's a color that gets too obscured by another color, so it just doesn't show up anymore, you can go back in with your paint sticks at the very end and add that color on top to make it kind of pop a little bit more. And I'm just going to choose one color of green there. I think I'm going to choose my light blue. I like the lighter colors here. I don't really have a lighter purple. Maybe I'll try the darker blue and see. Sometimes it ends up a little bit too dark. You can see that different colors will have a different look. Don't want to leave out purple. So now I have this beautiful scribbled piece. Now it's time to add my kernels. So I'm going to start anywhere in the middle, and I'm drawing these rounded squares. So we don't need these to be perfect, but we're going to stack them up here. They can get a little bit smaller if you can make them a little bit smaller as they go up. They don't have to go up straight. You can see mine's leaning all over the place. And then when you get to the top, we're going to come back down to the bottom, and we're going to try to make these touch the ones next to it. They don't have to be one for one. There doesn't have to be one next to area. And I'm going to fill in some more. So I'm going to do this about 5 times with about 5 columns of corn kernels. If you draw smaller, you can add more. You can also fill in the entire space and make a couple of different corns here. But I'm just making sure that I'm drawing my columns over the color that I've added. Just going up. Notice how I'm not making sure that they're straight at all. I do want them to touch, so I got a little sloppy there. As much as possible, I want them to touch. At least a little bit. So now I have this with all of my kernels. I'm going to draw my corn. So I'm going to use my black and I'm going to just draw a line straight down. And I'm going to ignore where my kernels are, and I have this corn and I'm going to cut it out. So I'm cutting to make sure that the outline of my corn is showing here. And I have some extra color that I can use for anything. I can make little tiny corn if I want, but I have my big piece here. And as I'm going to get my big piece out, I'm going to choose just a couple of colors to go in and just add a few solid ones on the top here. So I might choose this one. Some of it will show up, some of it might not show up as much, but just a couple of single colors here. And I think I'm going to choose blue. Got one there. Got one there. And you can add a few more if you'd like, if you end up thinking, I like the look of that. If you don't like the look of this at all, and you just like all the rainbow, you can leave that as is. We're just kind of adding a little bit of something to our corn. You can use white paper or green paper for this next step, or this next part. And I'm going to start below my corn, and I'm going to come up, and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. But I can do, they don't have to match. And then I'm going to take my corn off, and I'm going to finish. So I'm going to make this kind of loop around till it reaches the bottom, and then this one is going to come down. And I can trim these, and I'm going to cut this out. So this is going to be the part that goes over my corn. Again, you can do this with white paper and you can color it in green. But put this to the side because you're going to need it. We're going to add one more piece of that corn, or one more piece of this husk here. And we have this leftover paper. And again, if you cut a little bit off and it looks a little bit different than you originally drew it, that's okay. Looks different for me every time. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be gluing this on top of this corn, but I want another piece to stick out right there. So I'm going to take a look at my pieces here and just kind of cut out a fun shape. Whatever kind of shape I want, kind of leaf-like, kind of like this. And this piece is going to go behind here like this. So that's the part that we're going to glue on first. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to add a little bit of glue. So I'm just gluing on just a little bit. So don't put glue on the whole thing, just on this part. And it doesn't matter where it sticks out. I'm going to just put it like this. So it sticks out like that. And then I'm going to glue this part on top. Now I can glue it. I want this to at least not show. So it has to be up like this. So the best way to do this is to add glue to the outside edge of your corn here. So I'm just adding glue like this. And I'm putting this on top. Oh, I think they put this on the other way. You can add more glue if you want. This will be floppy, which I kind of like. And then we're gonna finish this husk part. So I'm going to use my black, make sure there's something underneath here, and I'm going to go ahead and add an outline with my black. So make sure you have a piece of paper or something underneath so you're not drawing on your table. This part I'm going to bring down one of the pieces so it touches, and then the other part's going to look like it folds so it goes underneath. And I'm just outlining the edges here. You can do this with a dark green. If you use white paper, you might want to use this to color, this time to color it in. And then I'm going to add some lines to make it look like there's some movement to my corn. I can also choose to come back with a darker green here and add those two. Or I can do it with yellow to make it look like the corn has been sitting out for a while. So it's a different look to have the one with the white paper and the green paper, but you're all done.